Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, lovely ladies watching us from today. This is Kusha from the Bespoke Designs, and I am back again with the Mompreneur Spotlight series. What is Mompreneur Spotlight series? It is to celebrate Mother's Day this year, where I'm hosting incredible women who are building businesses while raising families. And what we're doing is we are interviewing inspiring moms, coaches, entrepreneurs, professionals, so they can share their journey, they can share their stories, lessons, and wisdom from the journey of balancing motherhood and business. So let's celebrate the strength, ambition, and brilliance of mothers who are building powerful businesses and creating legacies. And today we have with us yet another amazing guest. Her name is Dr. Reema Sircar. So, Dr. Reema, first of all, thank you so much for taking time out today to be a part of the Mompreneur Spotlight series. Before we, ask you a few questions about your journey, why don't you share a little bit about yourself for our audience, please?
Yeah, so wow, first of all, Kusha, what a powerful introduction, I must say. I already feel very powerful. So, also, thank you so much, Kusha and Mompreneur Circle, and of course, Latika, for including me and for giving me this, let's say, spotlight. So, hi, I'm Dr. Reema Sircar. I'm a gynecologist turned IVF specialist now. I run an IVF clinic in Chandigarh as well as in Dehradun. It's actually a corporate chain, and I head the local branches in these two respective cities. I also look after the clinical scenario of Indira IVF in the North Zone, which means I am responsible for the success rates, the protocols, and all the paraphernalia that goes along with the clinical stuff. So, thank you for inviting me over. Let's go.
You're most welcome. So, Dr. Rima, I definitely, like I said, it's all about mompreneurs. My first question to you is why don't you tell us about your journey as a mother and an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so it's been a long journey, yes. So I finished my MD when MD OB-GYN from CMC Ludhiana in the year 2007. So since then, I have been working in the field of OB-GYN. So I continued after finishing my MD with CMC. I'm a graduate and postgraduate from that institute. I continued for around till 2013. Okay, so that means I was delivering babies, seeing OPDs, I was doing hysterectomies and some tubal ligations also. And while during this journey, I had this thing in my mind, a constant, juggling. Because during that time, I also started my family. I got married when I was 24, which means I had just gotten into MD. But because of the work pressure and because I had this, this degree to take and these things to do, so I always thought, let me get a little free from this professional life, and once I settle down a little bit, I'll start my family. And so while I got married at the appropriate age of 24, but it wasn't till 30 that my son Chaurya, he came along, which means it was a long wait period. And that too, I would say, only when I started working in the field of infertility that I realized even this is possible, that one day you may want and it may not happen. So
Yeah.
my patients actually taught me that okay, fine, it's time. But then I totally understand this continuous dilemma. It's not only me. Since then, since 20 let's say 6 2006, I've been dealing with a lot of couples dealing with infertility, some of them being career women, and I can relate to them instantly. This constant thing that goes on, this balancing act that goes on in the minds. So that was with me also. I raised Shaurya. I tried to be that perfect mother because it was always in the back of my mind that, oh, I'm a gynecologist, and gynecologists, ignore their children. So I'm not going to do that. It was
Right.
this this feeling always was very, very overbearing in my mind. And in retrospect, if you promise me not to share it with my son in retrospective, I will almost confess that I was sort of a helicopter mom in initial years. I would micromanage him and all around his life. I would want to do that. But then somewhere along the journey, I settled down as I met more mothers also who were managing, and my own experiences. I kind of settled down, and now I realize that you just can't compartmentalize your life. You can't say that this part I am keeping for my child or my family, and after I'm done with this, then I will look at my career. Somehow everything has to go simultaneously. And while in the beginning, you may not be the perfect mom or the perfect one at the career, but try to do as much as possible. Possible being the strong word here. As
Mm.
much as possible, just be there. Could be some days just being there could be as much as possible, the maximum possible. But do not discontinue,
Mhm.
because there will be days child will not always stay small. He will, or he or she will grow up eventually. You will not always stay the junior most in your field also. Just keep going, just keep doing your bit, and don't be harsh on yourself. Just be kind to yourself, because what you are doing, 90% of the people do not even think of doing that. So that is my only take. Thoda thoda karke chalo, do whatever you can and don't judge yourself. Be kind to yourself. So
Wow.
that's how I also did it. And thankfully, Shaur is a grown up boy. Like I told you, he's a teenager now. He's managing himself pretty much on his own. And I have also advanced in my career, and things do happen. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's a beautiful journey which you shared. And you've given a great perspective for so many women who will be watching this that don't think about being the perfect mom, don't be think about being the perfect career woman, because things will flow in its own sweet time. Just give your best, show up at the right place and the right time, be it for your children, be it at your work. My next question is that what do you think has motherhood taught you about leadership? Because I know now you're handling two branches as well. So do you think they are interrelated in any way?
Patience is the first thing motherhood has taught me. So I won't only say that motherhood has taught me towards leadership. Leadership has also taught me motherhood, because handling a team means you will have a mix of people.
Yes.
Some will be so energetic, understanding your vibe in a moment, and some will be slow moving, and 10 times you get after them, repeat the same thing. A different mix of people.
Mm.
So being a leader has taught me that everyone has their own journey. Just because they are not matching up to your speed or rhythm doesn't mean that they are always misaligned, or that they are not working in the larger good. Everyone is important. And so that has helped me in my motherhood journey also. I am thinking from a 45-year-old's mind. My son still has a 14-year-old's mind. He's still processing things. I can't expect him to run and rush. He will rush into things mindlessly. He will make his own mistakes. So that is what has helped me become patient at home.
Mhm.
And with Shaurya that I have worked, I also bring it to my team. And now I know, like I am being patient to my child, these are also people who have come from different background. As long as they're not really grossly out of the line, they're still contributing in their own sweet way.
Okay, great. This was also insightful where you kind of said that leadership has also taught you things for handling motherhood. And it was a different perspective for sure. But now I want to ask you that there are so many moms who are maybe planning to start a business. What kind of advice do you think you would give to those moms?
See, what I have learned, I'll share. I The biggest advantage that I worked with was that I chose a niche, a skill
Mm.
very early on in my life. That is very important. Now I understand, while I was sorted in that way, the circumstances may not have allowed, or may not allow other women to do the same.
Right.
But if wherever you are, whenever you are, how late it might be, please talk to yourself first. What is it that you are good at doing? Not what the other is doing, what is trending, what will work, what is not working. Because even when I take interviews, my first thing is, what do you see yourself in this role? I
Mm.
mean, some people are good at communication, some people are not so communicative, but they can contribute in ideas. So, first of all, identify yourself before you project yourself to others.
Right. Yeah.
What is your forte? What is it that you would really like doing? In the long run, you will only be able to contribute more and continue it as a sustainable thing when you enjoy doing whatever you are doing. So My advice would be to find your own comfort zone, your own niche, let's say,
Yes.
where you can contribute. And then second, please, even if you are moving an inch forward, it is still going forward. Some days will you'll be full of ideas bubbling and everything will just fall into place. You will have people coming, ideas coming, cash flowing in, and then there will be days, sometimes even months or a year or two also, when you're doing the same thing and nothing is coming forward. If you believe in yourself that this is your niche and you are training yourself for it also,
Hmm.
give time and put in all your inputs and wait, things do mobilize. Even if there are 1,000 people doing the same thing, if you are the 1,001th person also, but you have brought in full passion and you give that little bit of extra flavor, your own flavor to it, it will work.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful advice, Dr. Reema. And I totally agree with you because that's what I help my clients also with, that you need to know what you love doing, what lights you up. If you wake up every single day and that one thing that you are doing, would you do that every single day without getting bored? And if that is that thing which you're passionate about, then just go for it. Then you don't even have to think. And I have one question for you, which is related to your business, where when you were still building it upwards and onwards, what were your biggest challenges that you were facing?
Biggest challenges, I think, is to get a team
Hmm.
who is equally aligned to the goal as you are. Because
Right.
mine, I'm sure others also, I can only speak about me. Mine is a very skill based field. And
Yes.
while I was choosing my team or building up my team, also, I always thought or I worked on this philosophy. Even if you don't know anything, it doesn't matter. Your what expertise you are bringing in, I'm not looking for it. But if you don't have the intent,
Hmm.
then it's not going to work. I will train people who want to get trained, who
Yes.
want to
Yes.
get aligned. That is not a challenge. But if you don't have the intent, so to get those kind of people who actually see the dream that you are dreaming, or
Hmm.
at least be a part of it, that was the biggest challenge, to get that sort of team together. One, two, to keep that team together with you, because that is even an ongoing challenge. Because the
Yes.
moment your competitors will see, okay, you have put in all your passion in building a team, so that is when retaining them becomes a
Yes.
challenge. I don't know, I think that's how things work, but you asked me one challenge, I gave you my biggest one.
That's great. As rightly mentioned, building teams, it does require a lot of selection, lot of filtration, and then seeing, if there is that common vision and, bringing them together and aligning them together. So I'm sure that would have definitely been a task. And considering where you have reached now in business, you've already done a great job there. By the way, I want to come back to your kid, Shaurya, and this question is totally focused on him. So, if I had to ask you, what legacy do you want to create for your child, for Shaurya, what would that be?
That's a very heavy question. So, legacy, I don't know. However, look, even if you ask what kind of a person would you like people to remember you as?
Yes.
And the one thing I would say is genuine. The same, I pass it on to my son. Whatever you do, stay genuine in that. And I think that is my USP, my everything. Even in this competitive world, even if people interact with me, they may call me sharp, they may call me pretty, they may call me intelligent. That doesn't really matter. But when at the moment you call, say, ki, okay, she was not kind to me. She did not even mince her word while she was talking to
Hmm.
me, but she conveyed it to me in a respectful way, because she was genuine. She's
Genuine.
genuine. And I took even her criticism as constructive criticism. It came across as, good thing to me, because she sounded genuine. Is what I would like Shore also to build. You will make mistakes. I do not wish for a life without struggles for you. However, there will be struggles. Stay genuine to yourself. Again, find what you want to do. Stay genuine to others, and people eventually will catch on to that. Your vibe will speak even before you do.
Yeah,
Energy will speak even before you do. So that is what I would like
absolutely.
how to raise my child as.
That's a beautiful legacy. That's one big takeaway for so many other moms as well to think about. We're almost at the end of this interview, Dr. Reema, but just before we leave, is there a particular challenge or actionable item that you would want for our listeners to do?
For our entrepreneurs to do.
Yeah, for the people who are listening to us, all the moms and women, any challenge that you want to give them?
Any challenge? Okay, sit with yourself, talk to yourself, find time where you can imagine yourself doing the same way in different scenarios and see if it resonates with you, and if you can make the required changes. If you see that you are not where you should have been,
Hmm.
or where it doesn't align with you in the long term, can you bring yourself up and make that change today, even if it requires little changes in your daily life? Can you do that? Because
Hmm.
that is what will eventually shape your life. Life doesn't, no one's life gets shaped in one day or 1 month or 1 year. It takes years. But it's the everyday choices that we make towards ourselves. And that is when you may lose track of what you were originally supposed to do, but you will have to keep coming back to yourself, talking to yourself, taking time for you.
It is such a beautiful thought, which you've shared. And what a great note to end this conversation on. I wish we could go longer, but we do have a time constraint here. But then again, Dr. Reema, it has been amazing, amazing talking to you and having this conversation
Same
and
here.
knowing your thoughts, knowing your journey. And I'm sure all the women and all the moms who are watching this, they will to a larger extent agree with all that you've shared. And not only that, I feel that if there was some kind of doubts or inhibitions in their mind related to motherhood, related to their business, or even just relating to life in general, I think this conversation would have created some sort of an impact for them.
I hope so.
And
Yeah.
for the people who are watching this here, all the moms or the women entrepreneurs, feel free to get in touch with Dr. Reema. We will definitely leave the link below this video so that you can get in touch with her for any kind of help that you need. And that's all we have time for today. But definitely, I will come back again with yet another amazing guest. Until then, this is Kusha
Thank you.
Kalra signing off.